so that we can get to listen to it at any point in time that we are going to do. To be honest with you, I'm so fired up to be here. You guys give me quite a lot of energy to be able to, for me to do this for you all the time. And thank you so much for joining in. Pania, all the way in Memphis. You're a first timer. Wait, I really do appreciate you mentioning that. So I'm gonna tone down my teachings down to a level in which you can understand. Christine Marshall, you're a beginner as well. This session is for you. I'm gonna tone it down to a session whereby you can understand. If there's any other newbie in the building, kindly let me know. It's quite important for me to be able to know that so that I can know how best I'll be able to serve you better. I don't want you to feel like a stranger with this opportunity here, because this is a life-changing opportunity. It's an opportunity that you can literally make good use of any point in time, anytime, any day, wherever you are in the whole wide world, you know, and that's the reason why I'm doing this. I want you to be able to benefit. I want you to be able to take this to a level whereby yourself would see how it can transform your life. There's a lot that we can do with this opportunity. You know, a lot of people who are in my team, they know my goal. They know that I ain't gonna stop. They know that no one can beat me when it comes to self-flex act. They know that I can go on and go on and go on for 7, 8, 9, 10 hours on one single training session, just for me to make sure that you get all you need, you know. And if you can get what you need from this and you can start to impact life the way that I impact life, that is all I want to get out of you. You know, I create so much opportunity for people to be able to take this to a different level, and that's all I do. You know what I mean? More than anything else, majority of the people that have worked with me, they know that there's nothing in this world that I do not give them the opportunity to be able to touch. They know that sky is not even their limit. Sky is the beginning. So if you are just joining us for the first time, I'm gonna do a little promotion as well. So if you just give me 2 minutes to do a little bit of promotion to get other people's in, and then we get started in about the next 5 minutes. Thank you so much. While we do that, let's listen to some motivational video. Thank you. If your strategy doesn't wait, you go on some crazy diet, you know it's not going to last. And that's what most people do. They have strategies that are not sustainable. And oftentimes, the strategies you learn don't require a radical change. They just require the right thing a little differently. Sometimes people even do the right thing at the wrong time, and then they get frustrated. You know, if you on a home, I'm hoping for a long time, at least you guys. And I've spent 3 decades basically modeling people that have the most successful changes in their life, emotionally, relationships, finances, career. So what do they have in common? What do they do? What works? Let's do that. It's proven. Now, if you know what it is you really want, you need to total focus. Strategies that are absolutely work. So that every part of you is focused, you got the right strategy, and every part of you wants to move forward, and then you will pull towards what you want instead of push your way to where you want to get exhausted if you try to just use willpower to make lasting change. It doesn't work. Push doesn't cost. Pull. Having something attract you and pull you forward. It's a shift that happens inside of us, and I've got a process that over a few days happen. They'll feel a sense of excitement and passion and aliveness. It's all about training yourself and conditioning yourself so that you follow and have the quality life that you really desire. So ultimately,
Who's not charging? Who's not charging? He's been charging now. Tell me, he's not charging.
What you need to see is not how you see the world, but what you need to see is how the world sees you. The world sees you as much bigger than when you see yourself as the world sees you, and not how you see yourself.
That's when you're gonna go to another level.
My back they pay me now. Saturday. I got no extension. No extension. I can't stay there.
Right. I'm just gonna get started now. So the first thing first for my newbie, what is Forex? Right? What is Forex? For my gentle, for my visitor all the way from Memphis, and for Christine all the way from London. The first thing first that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna introduce to you what is the meaning of Forex. All right. A lot of us has been participating in this market way earlier before now. But we don't even realize that we've been doing that. If you have managed to go from one country to the other, literally you would have money to exchange one currency for the other. Say for example, you're traveling from London to from England to probably you're going to America, or you're going to Africa, or you're going to wherever you want to go, you're going to Europe. Literally you're gonna have to change your currency from one particular country to the other. All right. So, and that is the meaning of foreign exchange, exchange of one particular country's currency to another particular country currency. That is called foreign exchange. But the foreign exchange market, or the foreign exchange business, is a business that the multinational companies, that the government, that the hedge funds that you never get a call about, that the big banks, that you know, your Barclays Bank, your Citibank, your HSBC Bank, your Chase Bank, your also different kind of banks, they have actually been in the world of Forex way earlier before now. If there's one thing more than anything else that bring this opportunity down to us retail investor, is the creation of all this online trading platform. All right, the creation of the online trading platform that started to come into existence from the early say from about the early 1990s into the year 2000s. Those are the platform that brings about the trading opportunity to the retail investors. And not only that, this business opportunity, or this business of Forex, or this profit or income generating business of Forex, it has been a particular industry that has been closed to retail investors for a very long time. You need to have a certain amount of money, literally in millions of dollars, for you to be a participant of the foreign exchange trading. All right, and that's the reason why it's not been available to retail investors. But the advent of internet in the early 90s has made a lot of considerable difference. From the 1996 upward, has made a lot of considerable difference in the way that informations are disseminated to people all around the world. So the creation of online platform, the creation of the internet, the creation of online trading platform has made it possible for us retail investors to benefit in this opportunity. All right. And then benefiting in the Forex opportunity now goes a long way, because you need to now be able to understand who you are playing with. You need to be able to understand who the market participants are. You need to be able to understand how you are going to be able to generate money based on this opportunity. And that is key. And that's understanding is going to be an ongoing teaching. You have to understand that Forex is a skill. Okay, you cannot learn a skill of driving in one day. All right, you can't learn a skill of driving in one day. In fact, if you're going to learn a skill of driving and you are not well taught, you will realize that the first thing that will happen is you can literally crash the car and then endanger your own life yourself. All right. And the same thing applies to any skills. If you do not get the right necessary skills to be able to trade the foreign exchange market or any financial market, you will end up finding yourself in a very, very colossal or loss generating position. All right. And that is where I'm going to come in. That is where I'm going to help you to make sure that you don't have to go through that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, over the last 12 years and 10 months, I've witnessed quite a lot in this field. And I've managed to build myself from one stage to the other, from a beginner stage, from a very, very early beginner stage to the current stage where I am today. I did not only self-taught myself, I still managed to go to London School of Business and Finance, where I went to go and consolidate my learning and be able to get things done in a professional manner. At the same time, that gives me the opportunity to meet high net worth individuals. That gives me the opportunity to meet people who are really in the business and then can make a lot of changes into people's life. And that is where the opportunity to fund things come into place. All right. So if you are joining in for the first time, if you do not understand anything about the foreign exchange market, I want you to understand that it's literally the exchange of one currency to the other, right? And you will be familiar with our currency that we spend in the United Kingdom. In America, we spend dollars, all right? Due to certain reasons, from political reason, from monetary policy reasons, which means the central banks in each and every country, they tend to create a kind of policy around the monetary system or around the money system that we use in each and every country. We tend to have also different kind of rates or exchange value to each and every individual currency. Say, for example, now, because of the kind of stability that you can get in England, which is likely going to be different to the kind of stability that you can get in Africa or in any country in Africa, you are more than quite safe economical wise in England than are you going to be safe in another country around the world that is developing. All right. These first world countries, which are the developed countries, they've been a pioneer in upholding the monetary system for a very long time. All right. So what you tend to realize is quite a lot of people, the foreign exchange market works based on what we call the supply and demand situation. All right. There's what we call a floating exchange. And what does floating exchange do? Floating exchange is an operation that takes place in such a manner that each and every country's currency is based on how it's being demanded by one particular country or by one particular individual or by one particular business or by one particular group of people to the other. So if your country's currency is well in demand, okay, the value of that particular currency will be higher than a country's currency that is not in demand at all. We have some currencies that are not in demand at all. We refer to them as exotic pair, which means if you are holding that currency, then for you to change it to another currency, while a lot of people might be skeptical, you may find it difficult finding people who really want to hold that particular currency. Say, for example, someone who is holding on to any war reading zone's currency, all right, and then that particular person wants to exchange it for a particular country's currency whereby there's no war, whereby there's stability. People will be thinking in their own right mind that, why should I hold your currency? Your country is in war anyway. What do I need that particular currency for? So the currency that people are not interested in holding, we tend to always attract people selling it. People are not interested in it, so people are literally going to be selling it because it's got no value whatsoever. Meanwhile, the currency that people are in demand of, people are going to be buying that currency because they want to hold on to that currency because they believe that there's stability going on in that particular country. And that particular stability will not make them lose their money. So their money will definitely be safe and secure. It will be in a position whereby the demand of that particular currency will be increasing the value of that currency. I wouldn't know if I'm making any sense at all to my gentleman from Memphis and Christine from London. Am I making any sense at all? Is this something that you are following or not? That is just the basic explanation of, thank you so much, Christine, for answering about the, I wouldn't know if you are a man or if you are a lady, Penny, all the way from Memphis. All right, so I'm glad you know the basics. All right, so that's cool. If there's anything that you want to find out about or you want to understand, you can type the question in. All right, so the next thing is what is being traded in the foreign exchange market. Now that you've understand the basis that it's all about exchanging one country currency to the other, you've understand the kind of market participant that you are against, which are the central bankers. You're talking about the big hedge funds and all the multinational companies. Obviously, these are the same set of people that are big names in the business. All right, we retail investors, we only take care of 20% of the foreign exchange market. So hardly do we even move the market when all these market participants are in play. All right. So the next thing that I want you to understand is this: just because we are talking about Forex, that means we are talking about how to use it to make money, which means we want to make money from money. One thing I want you to understand is the first thing first that you need to know, if you've never been taught this before, is how do you actually protect the tools that you're going to use to make money. In this case, you want to use money to make money. So you need to understand how do you protect what you're going to use to make money. If you do not have a clue of how to protect money that you're going to use to make money, then obviously there's no need for you to even start at all. It is so key for you to have that bit of understanding, because if you do not have that bit of understanding, and if you do not have the right psychology to help you to understand how to protect money, first of all, you will be making considerable mistake in the market. All right, you'll be making considerable mistake in the market, and those mistakes can be very, very colossal. They can literally turn your life around. They can literally damage your life. They can literally damage your emotion. They can literally let you encounter huge amount of losses that you never anticipated. But if you have the opportunity to learn what it is to understand how to protect money, right, then each and every time that you are going into the market, you are just going into the market fiercely. You are going into the market so confidently to just go into the market, to go and take what it's yours and come out of the market as quick as possible all the time. Okay, you are not in control of what goes on in this market. That is not your job. You cannot control the way the price moves. It's not your job to control that, and you won't be able to control it. And that is the ultimate truth. All right, but you can learn the skill that you can use to capitalize on this market, because this market is the most liquid market in the whole wide world. All right, as of this present moment, the last statistics that I read is the foreign exchange market is actually doing 7.3 trillion. Somebody say who? 7.3 trillion every single day. What of money is going round from one country to the other, from one bank to the other? Anything that's got to do with cash, anything that's got to do with transaction that is being exchanged all around the world, from America to England, from England to Mexico, from Mexico all around the world to South America, from South America to North America, from North America to Australia, from Australia down to China, from China to Middle East, from Middle East to Africa, you know, to those parts of the world that are even islands that hardly do you even hear about them, like Turks and Caicos, like Barbados. There's a lot of money that's going on around the world now that we are even interconnected. There's more than 7.3 trillion worth of cash going on around the world. And those 7.3 trillion, you can always make your own out of it. You only need to understand how to capitalize on the skills to make it. Okay, so the first thing I want to teach you tonight is I'm going to give you several tools. As all my students, they know that the first thing that you need to succeed is you need to have tools. Okay, and one of the tools that I'm going to give you is a risk management tool. Okay, how does that risk management tool operate? You might find it very challenging at first, but just be open-minded. Okay, because I cannot literally teach you every single thing in one single training. There's a couple of other things I want to teach tonight, but I want you to take note of this bit of information, and I'm going to give you a website called babypips.com. Okay, in this website that's called babypips.com, this is a website that you're going to be using all the time to manage your money so you can do it on your own. So you come to where it says tool, all right, and then you have what it says position size calculator. All right, so what is a position size? Position size is exactly the amount of one currency that you are buying while you are selling the other one. Okay, is the amount of one of the currency that you are buying while you are selling the other one. All right, so say for example you need to buy a particular currency. Now obviously you need to have money to buy that currency. Okay, so when you are buying a particular currency, irrespective of whatever that you are buying, then one thing you realize is, especially if that currency is not from the country where you come from, one thing you realize is for you to have that currency, probably you are traveling to Europe. For you to have that Europe, you have to give them your sterling. All right, you have to give them your sterling. For you to have that pound, if you are from Nigeria, you have to give them your naira. For you to have that pound or dollars, you have to give them your South African rand if you are from South Africa, or if you are from any other part of Africa. So you now start to exchange money. So when you are exchanging in that manner, there's also different kind of factors that goes into play. The two countries' interest rate goes into play while you are doing that exchange. That can literally get the price of one currency to the other fluctuates and not to stay stable in one particular situation. All right, so you realize that we have what is called floating exchange, and floating exchange, like I described earlier, it's based on how one country's currency is being in demand compared to another country's currency that's not in demand at all. So whichever currency that's in demand is the one that you're going to be seeing a lot of people buying. That's the one that's going to be increasing in value, and that is the one that is going to be profitable when you are buying it. The one that they are rejecting, that's the one that's going to be increasing in value. Obviously, you don't want to hold that. You just want to sell that all the time. So when you come to position size calculator, I want you to read this with me. One of the most important tools in a trader's bag is risk management. One of the most important tools. Proper position sizing is key to managing risk and to avoid blowing out your account on a single trade. Okay, so if you want to be safe in this business, you need to understand risk management. Okay, and then I'm going into risk management in one of the most simplest form ever. All right, all these tools are very important, and as a newbie, you need to understand how to use this tool. You need to have this tool in your bag. All right, so one of the first tools that I'll give you tonight as a newbie is what is called the position size calculator. Once you understand how to calculate the right necessary position that you need to take in a trade, you can close your eyes and trade. And you have to follow this. These are important rules to follow. Exactly $7.3 trillion. These are important rules to follow. So the first thing, for say, for example, if you are one of the beneficiary of our funded account, all right, and then your first balance is for the qualification period is 2,500. Okay, you are not expected to risk more than 1.49% of that account at any point in time on any trade. All right, so once you've taken that risk, what that means is you've either gone into the market to buy or sell. All right, so once you've taken that risk, there is a couple of things that goes into play. All right, when you are taking a risk in the market, it means you are literally buying or selling in the market. Okay, bear me a second, let me show you this. This is another package that you're gonna need, and it's a charting package. This particular package is what literally gives you the opportunity to know one currency value compared to the other currency value. So in this case, we are talking about British pound versus US dollar, and the name of this charting package is called Trading View. All right, so if you're new and you don't know what charting package to start to use, I will encourage you to start to use Trading View. So when I pull up this, a lot of people might be wondering, what is this? This same particular thing that looks like nonsense can be represented like this. So this is showing you how the price is going up and down, and the kind of fluctuation that you can see in price as it's going up and down. And then you can represent that on also different kind of identifiers, such as a candlestick chart, such as the line chart, such as a bar chart. All right, so you can use that to identify what goes on in the market or the movement that you can see in the market. Right now, the kind of move that we are seeing in the market is showing us that the current price for the pound against the US dollar, which means if you want to exchange any US dollar for pound, all right, which means if you want to be buying the pound and you're going to be selling the dollar, which means, say, for example, you are in the US and you want to come to United Kingdom, for example, and you need some of the pound, that means you're going to be buying the pound. But what you're going to end up doing is you're going to have to give them your dollars for them to give you an equivalent amount of sterling. So the amounts that they're going to be giving you right by now for one particular sterling is going to be $1.29. All right, so you will need $1.29 to actually get one sterling if you are in America coming down here. And more so, if you are in England going down to America, what will tend to happen is you want to exchange your pound for your dollars, right? You want to exchange your pound for your dollars. But in that case, what you actually be doing is you're going to be selling your pound to acquire dollars. All right, you're going to be selling your pound to acquire dollars, because you cannot spend that particular pound in the country where you are going, which is the United States. Not because you can't spend it, you can spend it at the bureau de change, right? But you cannot spend that particular currency in that country when you get there. So you'll be more than prepared to exchange your currency before you get there. All right, so in this case, what we are seeing is we are actually seeing a value over here, which you see to the right hand side, which says 1.2992. All right, so this is a chart, right? This is a chart that we use to monitor the financial market. This is a chart whereby we look for the ups and downs, or the movement of each and every currency. And the one thing that you do with charts is, the chart is not what makes you profitable, all right? It is what you do with your brain. The way that you use your brain around this chart is what will make you profitable, okay? The way that you look at the chart and you do your analysis and you understand what to take out of the chart is what is going to make you profitable. And that is a skill that you need to learn, okay? That is a skill that you need to learn. That is a skill that you need to learn, because once you learn this skill, you can then apply it even while you are sleeping, okay? So in this case, what I wanted to show you is this. You will have a particular account size, all right, which is going to be the balance of your accounts that you're going to start using to trade. Bear me a second. So in this case, the particular account balance that you have is 2,500, for example, if you're part of our funded account opportunity. And then you have what is called the risk percentage, okay? The risk percentage, the amount of your 2,500 that you actually want to use in doing this particular trading, okay? So what we suggest is you shouldn't risk more than 1.49%, all right? And 1.49% of 2,500, if we both calculate it, this is what is going to be amounting to. You need to know your calculation by hand, offhand. So you're doing 1.49, all right, percent of 2,500, okay, divided by 100, okay, which means the maximum that you are expect to lose on one particular trading opportunity, if you're going to be using the whole of this risk percentage, is going to be 37.25 cents, which is about 37 cents. All right. So what you then want to do is there's what we call stop loss. All right. Stop loss is what is going to help you to protect your account. So you have to always use stop loss in all your trades. All right. Irrespective of how large that trading opportunities is, you have to always use stop loss. So your analysis or the way that you trade need to give you that protection when you are going into the market, and that is the only way that you can trade successfully. Okay, if you are leaving your position on without stop loss, you have already failed. Okay, without the failure happen, without you seeing the failure, you've already failed. So you need to always have stop loss. And you just don't have a stop loss, you calculate it. All right, so the calculation of your stop loss is what we are trying to do here. All right, so moving forward, if I go back to that chart, say for example, if I want to buy from here now, just where the price is, this is a candlestick and this is the last candle. If I'm looking at this and I just say, please, I'm not saying anybody should buy gold or do anything. I'm just saying if I want to buy here now, okay? So what I don't want to happen is this. I want this to happen. If I'm buying, I want price to literally go up, move away from here to here, okay? That means I'm buying and I want to reap the reward of what I'm buying, okay? The next thing which I want to do is I want to know that if I'm buying from here, where am I likely going to be wrong out of whatever I'm doing? So I'll be looking at this chart and say to myself that the best place for me to be looking at if I'm wrong, if this thing is going to turn, is to be looking at underneath here, okay? So I'm going to be looking at underneath here. This is where it's going to show me that we are not going up anymore. We are not even bouncing up this low, irrespective of whoever the son or the son of who you are. We are not interested in that. Price has come back down to this area, and then what we are doing is we are looking forward to buy it, okay? So if price is coming back down below this area, then that is telling us that we are wrong, all right? Just because this area has held the price before. Let me show you. You can see that the difference is this. When price is coming down like this, when it gets here, we can't continue to be going down. Then we have another candle that shows us that, wow, literally, because of all this move that we are seeing, now that we have a gravestone doji right here, is showing us that we are not going to be going down for a very long time. Something is definitely changing. So this zone right here is a zone whereby I can see that it's very important for the market, where people are supporting price, where people want to buy this area and then push it up. But should in case what I'm seeing here turn out to be wrong, then price start to come back down, then obviously I don't want to be in this particular position, because when I'm buying, I want to see price going up. When I'm selling, then that's when price is going to be coming down. So if I'm buying and price starts to come down below here, that's the time for me to get out, and that's the time for me to consider possibility of selling at the same time as well. All right. So this is just basic as well. We haven't delved into it, but what I want to show you is in this particular case, there's a way to measure it. I can then say this is where price is currently, all right? And then I want to go from here all the way down to here. That is giving me about 12 points or 14 points or even 16 points, all right? That is giving me about 16 points down. So that 16 points down is what we call the stop loss. All right, that 16 points down is what we call the stop loss. So which means we have protected our accounts before any funny move literally occur. All right, we have protected our account before any type of move occur at all. So protecting that account is what is going to guarantee us that should in case anything happen, because it's not a business whereby you want to come in and predict if anything decides to turn from here all the way down, just because you've had this protection in on your account, that means even if this is turning down and it's supposed to be looking so negative, you won't get it. All right, you won't get taken by surprise. You have your stop here. By all means, you are following that. When things decide to change around, the only thing that you realize is your account is still protected without that stop that's in place, rather than you encountering massive amount of loss like someone who doesn't get the right skill or the right education. You would have protect and prevent that happening by making sure that you always use stop loss. All right. So what you then want to do is you've put your account balance into it. You put the amount that you want to risk into it. Then in this case, we can measure how many pips are we looking to use to protect our account. All right. So the first thing that we do is we come back here. We come back to our chart. Okay. And then we measure that from here where the price is currently to here. Are we satisfied that that 17 pips it's enough as a stop for us? So in this case, we're going to use a practical example of say 17 pip. Okay, and the pip is the measure of the foreign exchange market movements that we see when price is fluctuating up and down. Is fluctuating in pip, just like the way that when we are fluctuating up and down, we are fluctuating in what? What is giving us the opportunity to bounce up and down? The blood that we have in our bloodstream, the energy that we have, that's what is giving us that strength to be able to go up and down. That is what is energizing us. That is what is oxidizing us. The thing that's moving in this foreign exchange market for pound is what is called pip. All right, we're going to get into that. All right, so we've known that as risk point or our risk level is going to be about 17 points. For anyone who doesn't understand this, please don't worry. We're going to get there. All right, so the particular currency that we want to trade now, we're going to choose that is pound US dollar. So once we calculate, what you will get is a result here that's going to tell you the amount that you need to be putting on the risk for 1.49%, and then we're going to break that down. So once I click calculate, all right, so if you're taking a position that is about 0.21 standard lot, okay, if you're taking a position that's about 0.21 standard lot, this position is what you would take if you put your loss, your stop at the right place. All right, if you put your stop at the right place, you will never encounter a loss of $37.25, and then it will literally break you down. Okay, it won't break you down. So what this means is, if I'm committing to a trade with my $2,500 account and I put 1.49% worth of risk on that, the amount of money that I'm likely going to lose in the event of any eventuality will be $37.27. Okay, but having this looked into now can now give me the opportunity to project forward beyond anything else to make more than what I'm going to lose out of this market by using a simple technique. All right, so the amount at loss at risk is $37, but we can make $67 from this. We can make $100 from this. We can even make $200 from this. All we have to do is know where to spot it. All right, so say for example now, based on our analysis, we've used the ruler tool to calculate where price is. Okay, and we said the back in the worst case scenario, what would then happen is there's about 22 pips worth of loss. But this 22 pips or 25 pips worth of loss, if the trade goes in my direction, then we will have about 75 pips worth of gain. All right, So what that means is that can literally be 75 cents. Okay, that can literally be $7.05. That can literally be say even $75. That can literally be $750. That same 75 pips that we are seeing over here can translate into quite a lot of currency value. Depends on how we are trading. So I don't want you to get greedy. The same little effort that you're gonna make to use to make 75 cents is the same effort that you're gonna use to make 7,500. Nothing complicated in Forex at all. All right. All you have to know is know how to capitalize on it. The same little effort that you're gonna use to make the 75 cents is the same effort that you're gonna use to make the 750,000. All right. So once you have your skill up to scratch, then you will be able to capitalize on this and make the best use of it. So going back to position size, the amount that you're going to be putting at risk on 1.49% is going to be $37. All right. So once you look at this amount and then you look at your account balance, if this amount is sensible, if you know that if you lose $37.25 on this particular trade, then you have more opportunities anyway, rather than you not even understanding how to do this calculation bit. So what this gives us is the amount of orders that you're going to put into the market is called 0.2. 0.2 lots is the maximum that you're going to put into the market. But this 0.2 lot, what you want to do is you want to break it down into maybe you can say to yourself that I want to take 10 trades today and just divide this by 10. Okay, once you divide it by 10, this will be 2,000, this will be 0.02, and 0.02 will be very good for you to make a trade and still be able to generate considerable amount of profit from that trade. All right, so moving forward from baby pips, if that is understandable, kindly let me know. If it's not understandable what this means, please do let me know as well. So if I haven't heard anything back from you, I'm just going to go into the business of the day, and I'm going to be looking at the first currency that I'm going to be looking at is what is called a pound dollar. Okay, it's what is called a pound dollar. Now I'm going to be moving to a little bit of an advanced state because majority of the students in the class, they have managed to get their training to one particular level. For you newbies who are two in the group, please do not hesitate to ask questions if you have any question. But at the same time, I'm going to be moving fast now for people to be able to have some trading set up into the new week. All right. So, and then we're going to be taking break within the next 6 minutes. All right. So that we can get to relieve our brains and get to relieve ourselves of the little that we've had. All right. So before we trade, the first thing we will do again is another tool called Forex Factory. Okay. So this is our calendar tool. This is where we check economical data, because with economical data, it's going to give us a sense into what is going to be happening, all right, on the day that we want to trade. So on a day like this, the April 19th, we can see that we have the JPY National Core Consumer Price Index. We have an holiday in the Swiss franc. We have an holiday in the Euro zone. We have an holiday in the Great Britain. We have building permits coming up at 1:30, and you're going to be seeing time. All right, you're going to be seeing the time that the event is going to happen. You're going to be seeing the type of event that's happening, and then you're going to come down to here. You're going to read about that particular event. If you click anyone, it's going to tell you that the European Central Bank Trans-European Automated Real-Time Gross Settlement Express Transfer Target system will be closed for this holiday, which tends to have a substantial impact on liquidity. It shows us that the bank is not working, the ECB target system that does with settlement of transfer is not at work. So banks are not working today. If you want to do any financial transaction, then it's not going to be happening as such, just because banks are not open, in as much as it's going to go through the bank. All right. And the same thing applies to other other countries that's got bank holiday. Look at this. UK bank will be closed in advance as well. So on a day like this, for us traders, this is a day that we perfect our strategy. This is a day that we don't even really bother ourselves to trade, because trading on a day like this can involve low volume. There won't be any market participants that will be there to do quite a lot. All right. So moving forward, sorry about that. Moving forward, once you have this, the next thing that you are looking for, let's look at dates. So on this Saturday, the market is not open. The Forex market is not open on Saturday. The Forex market tends to open back on Sunday evening in UK time from about 10 o'clock UK time. All right, from about 9 o'clock UK time when we are getting into summertime. When we are in winter time, it's going to be about 10 o'clock. And you can see that on this day, the New Zealand bank is not on holiday. The Australian bank is on holiday at the same time. And on Monday as well, the holiday continues. Because we are in a festive season, we're going to be bound by also different kind of holiday opportunities coming up here and there. And with those opportunities, those are the times that you can afford avoid trading. You can literally use that time to be building your analysis. And that's the reason why I come here tonight to come and share this with you. All right. So that we can build a lot of analysis into play. All right. So once you have that, the next thing that I'm going to give you is what is called a volatility tool. All right. I always do this for all my students, because once you carry on repeating something, then they tend to remember, they tend to start to use it. What does this do? This literally show me how far each and every currency can move. So I can go into what is called Forex volatility. All right. So with this, it shows me that how wide the movement can be. So in a day, for this particular currency called the Aussie card, it can move 58 pips. All right. So what that tends to mean is if I'm trading an account that is called a standard lot account, this can literally move 580 580. It can literally move about it should be $580, but by the time you do the calculation, the conversion of the Australian currency to dollars and the Canadian currency to dollars, that will literally be amounting to about $437. All right. In a day, that is the difference that I can move either up and down. All right. So you see the same thing on Aussie Swiss, you see the same thing on all other currencies. So if I'm looking at a particular currency, say for example, I'm looking at Euro USD. All right. So on Euro USD now, if I'm looking at a 4 weeks period, okay, which means over the last 4 weeks, and then I want to look at Euro USD. So on Euro USD now, what it's telling me is this particular currency moves about $445 in a day, which is if I'm trading standard lots, and at the same time it moves just about 44.525 pips in a day currently. Okay, so with this, what does this do for you? This gives you a gauge for you to understand that, okay, even if I'm going into the market, I'm not supposed to have a huge positive expectation beyond what is necessary than for me to know that, okay, this pair, when I come into the market, is supposed to do 44 pips. Now is doing, say, for example, on a Friday, normally on the average, it will be 44 pips, but on a Friday, everyone that can have access to this tool will know that at least the euro dollar will do anything between 45 to 60 pips on a Friday if there's no any surprise that comes into the market, either from either side. But measuring this over the last 4 weeks, we see that on every Friday, the euro dollar does about 60 pips, which is about $600 worth of move. All right. So how does that help? Say, for example, the market has opened now, right? Bear me a second. Let me quickly show you this. If the market has opened, I'm going to wait for this to come up so that I can show you clearly. On the editor. All right. So, say for example, this is what I want to show you. If I in my new session here. All right. So this another chart. Okay. With this chart, what it's telling us is this is a chart of euro against the USD, which means if this chart is going down, that shows you that people are literally selling the euro. But if this chart is coming up, it shows you that people are literally buying the euro. So what we want to do is we want to go to the fearless time, which is going to be the current time. Okay, so this is where we are, and where we are today. What this is telling me is if this pair moves 44 pips, the beginning of Asian session is the whole of this purple, and then obviously to the high of this particular session, you can see that the worst that we can ever do is the worst that we can ever do today is just about 18 pips. Normally, if there's no bank holiday and everything is flowing the way that it's supposed to flow, we should be able to generate close to about 60 pips. So you can now see certain things that can affect the market. Normally, this market is supposed to do at least about 60 pips to on this move, but because there's no market participants in the market, there's no people who are going to move the price in the market, the only thing that we've done is just about 18 pips going forward. In fact, it's that even occur after this significant drop down there that will now lead to price calming down. So we haven't been able to do much. We didn't get to do up to that 60 that we are looking for, but we've done 18 in a day like this, whereby the market is on holiday. All right. So what we know is the best time where we do most of those trading was during the Asian session, which gives me about 16 pips. Okay. So any other person that joins in, right about now, we then get to understand that this particular market moves based on a preset condition. On daily basis, we have certain range that we need to cover. And one of the cover or daily range that we need to cover for this particular situation or for this particular market is supposed to be 60 pips. But because of the holiday, we are not even doing closer to that. All right. If that is understandable, I'm just going to move forward on these particular tools. So what tends to happen is, say, for example, if there's no holiday and we've moved, say, about 20 pips, I'll be looking at it and say everything line up for good. Then obviously, maybe from here to here is going to be where I'm going to be looking for my 60 pips to come into. You know, the whole of the 60 pips would have definitely ended over there, and then we can there see how best we can take advantage of such a move. But because of LJ, nothing is really moving. There's no need to stress yourself trading this. If you do, you just know that you are definitely just playing around because the market's not going to move. All right, so that's another tool right there for you, Forex volatility tool. So tonight I've given you about 3 tools. Those 3 tools are important. If you do not know how to use them properly, don't hesitate to get in touch with me. Then we're going to be able to look into how you need to understand it. So The next thing that I'm going to now have is my charting package. All right. So this is my charting package. On this particular charting package, what I have is what is called the Great Britain pound against the US dollar. All right. So what this is telling me is this: if I can see that the Great Britain pound is falling like this, okay. If I can see that the Great Britain pound against the US dollar is falling like this, what that is telling me is simple. It's telling me that people are not interested in buying the pound yet to this particular point in time. Okay. People are not interested in buying the pound at this particular point in time, all the way that it's moving down. All right. So now that we even have a bit of a correction, which is a move up, that doesn't mean that this particular correction that we have is the beginning of a new trend or anything. This particular correction is normal when it comes to the market and the way the market behaves. Price just don't go down forever. Price move in wave, left, right, and center in securing or finding a particular balance. All right. So what do I mean by that? Price moves, okay, and there's a reason why price move. The reason why price move is because of one of the factors that we can refer to as the demand of that particular price, which can be as a result of the way the country is portrayed in front of the whole wide world, okay? The way, the power that those countries have, whether they have a military power or whether they have an intelligent power or whether they have also different kind of and also different kind of power behind them that can put them at the fourth string position in life. You know what I mean? And that would be that would be great. So what tends to happen on this chart is the way that the price is moving up down over the last period of, we use the chart to measure time, all right, to see how things are performing. Okay, so we've gone 7 minutes over the hour now. I employ us to take a break, get a little bit of a refreshing moment, get some water or get something to drink, stretch your body. We come back again within the next 10 minutes after the break. Thank you so much for your time. I will put in a little bit of motivation and then we just delve into this chart. I'll look into a couple of charts today. I want you to send me the charts that you want us to look into the chat room so that we can just look into charts and look into analysis going forward. Please do send me the charts. But in the meantime, we're gonna go on a 10-minute break.
About 35 years ago, I got obsessed with a simple question. What makes the difference in the quality of people's lives? What makes some people leaders and other people followers? Which makes most people talk about a dream and never follow through, and other people, just a small percentage, kick ass, take names. You can throw any obstacle at them, they find a way to break through. What's the difference? And when I first grew up, I grew up very poor financially. I grew up in a very tough environment. When I met my fourth father, I said, Mom, I'm confused. I was confused because I always loved people, just my nature. But when I was in high school, I was not the most popular kid in school. In fact, the most popular kid in school treated me like hell. He was so vicious and mean. I thought, what makes that guy popular? So it made me obsessed to want to know why people's lives turn out so was, well, some people are just lucky. They grew up in a family where everybody loves each other and they stay together. You know, some people are lucky. They grew up in a family and everybody's educated, so they work hard to educate their kids. Or some people are lucky. They grew up in a family with lots of money, so they have resources to travel and learn and expand and do whatever they want. And as much as I wanted to believe that story, that some people are just lucky that they had a better family, when you pay attention, you're even slightly honest with yourself, that story doesn't hold up, does it? Because when you look around, what happens to people that were truly given everything and they don't have to work for it? What happens to the person who was born and they got total love and support from their family? They have total financial abundance. They don't have to worry about it whatsoever. They got all the great education. What happens to the majority of those? Not all, but the majority of those people don't build any muscle. They're not hungry because everything was given to them, so they don't have any hunger that could give them drive. Which, if you ask me, Tony, what's the single most important key to success above anything else? It's not talent, it's not skill, it's hunger. If you get enough hunger going in you for an answer, you'll find the answer. If you get a hunger enough inside of you that says, I got to take things to the next level, I got to achieve, I got to make a difference, I got to expand, you will find the answer. People's intelligence will expand if they got enough hunger. But if you got everything and you're not hungry, you're not going to have much. Look at the pathetic people you read about in the rag newspapers who were given everything. And as a result, what do you find out? The majority of people that are given everything, you find them living in rehab. They get everything else and they went in and out of rehab for drugs or alcohol or something else. And then you find these people that life seems to have stepped on. You know the kind of people I'm talking about? Life has kicked them in the face. They've experienced tremendous injustice. Nothing has been fair to them. They've been abused mentally, emotionally, sexually, spiritually, whatever. And very often, those are the very people that most of us are in.
A business without .com is like a tree surgeon without the ropes.
Inspired by, who achieve levels that most people never dream about, and who touch society. For example, what would you guess would be the future for a child if I described their background? Because most people think biography is destiny. What you've been through determines who you are. And most of us, if we're not succeeding, can tell everybody the stories of why we're in that place. But it's much more fun to tell people where you are today in spite of what happened in your life. That's a much more interesting story, isn't it? But if you look around, what if a person's story is this? True story. A person's born, and their father's not there as a baby. Their father left before they got there. Their mother is going to raise them, and their mother's 13. A child being raised by a child. That's all I told you. What would you predict the future of this child would be? Real positive, uplifting, expansive, powerful, influential, or concerning? Concerning. What if I said this 13-year-old mother didn't know what to do with this baby and was overwhelmed, so she gave the baby most of the time to her grandma, who had lots to deal with? And what if I told you, with grandma not noticing, before this child was 13, she was sexually abused more than 3 times by different people in family and friends? Now, the little baby being abused, the child being abused, what's the future? Doesn't look too bright, does it? What if I told you at 13, when the baby turned 13, this baby became exactly like her mother and became pregnant as well? Followed exactly in her mother's footsteps. What if I told you at 13, when the baby arrived, the baby was stillborn? The baby died at birth. What would that do to an adult mom having a baby, much less a 13-year-old child? What if I told you the kid went a little crazy with their behavior, got so outrageous and out of control, they put her in an institution. But fortunately, the institution didn't have enough beds, so they couldn't keep her there more than a few days, and they finally released her to a man who claimed to be her father. She's not back. By now, I'm sure you figured out whose story this is. Who is it? This is Oprah Winfrey's story. Oprah Winfrey went through all that we just said, plus she was African-American at a time in the U.S. when the President of the United States was not African-American, and when many people in the U.S. did not judge people by their character, they judged them by their color, based on nothing whatsoever. This woman is one of the most influential people in the world, females on the planet. That's her story. So the reason is, whatever story you're being told about the economy, whatever story you're being told around you, you have to be so aware not to buy into a limiting story. Either someone else telling you that or you telling yourself that. And I'll tell you something, it's gotten worse as the years gone by, and I think the U.S. has been the leader in it. I'm not attacking my country. It's interesting what's happened in my country in the last 2 decades. Some of you may be old enough to remember 20 years ago when things started to change. because America likes to export their story. So I think many of you, if you're around then, can remember there was a story of two young men who killed their parents in Los Angeles. Their names were the Menendez brothers. Does anybody here remember that story, the Menendez brothers? Keep your hands up so I can see a sense. There are quite a few of you can remember the story. If you didn't know the story, it's about these two young men. They killed their parents, their mother and father, at point blank range with a shotgun. Murdered them in cold blood. But when they went to a jury trial, the jury couldn't decide. They admitted they did it. They admitted it. But they said, but our parents were abusive. And so the jury literally was deadlocked. It took 2 jury trials to convict them. Now, all because they were abused. Well, many people are abused. They don't kill their parents with shotguns. Right? See, if you and I are going to be successful, we're never going to get it by blaming somebody else, including God. People say, I'm poor because God wanted me poor. I'm fat because God got me fat. No, you're poor and fat because you sit on the couch and watch TV and eat Cheetos all day. It's not God's fault. So what I'm suggesting to you is you and I have to come up with a better story. A story that can make things work. So now I want you to tell me the truth on something here. Tell me right now, who here in this room has ever failed to accomplish something that really mattered to you? We all know we failed at some point. First time I ever asked this question on stage was spontaneous. I was in this group called TED, Technology, Entertainment, and Design. And I asked everybody in the audience, because they're all multi-billionaires, the guys that started Yahoo, the guys that started Google, this really unique group of people. And in this darkness, and they weren't responding, so I said, let me just ask you a question. How many of you have ever failed? No one raised their hand. I said, thank you for your full participation. How many of you have ever failed? They all raised their hand. I said, great. When you failed in the past, why did you fail? And this is where you hear people's story. Remember why I'm telling you this? Because I want to tell you right now, you might write down something. Change your story, change your life. We all have a story about why we are where we are. If you're not where you want to be in your life, in some area, like maybe your body's great, but your finances aren't, or your finances great, but your relationship sucks, or doesn't, or whatever, the bottom line is, you've got a story why it's that way. And the story we tell ourselves protects us from pain. It gives us a reason why it's not our fault, or it's going to be okay in the future. But the story that protects you also imprisons you. It keeps you from changing your life. So in order to create change in your life, you really truly got to change your story. You got to shift your story. You got to find a story that's going to empower you, a story that's going to strengthen you, a story that will push you beyond anything you've ever done in the past. So the story most people have, and that they had in this TED piece was, I said, why have you failed in the past? Didn't have the money, didn't have enough time, didn't have the right resources, didn't know the right people, didn't have the right contacts, didn't have the technology. Some people said we had a lousy leader. The leader said I had lousy people. Isn't this stuff what people tell you? And then in the darkness, I heard this voice say, I didn't have enough Supreme Court justices. And I looked into the dark room down there in the front row, and it's Vice President Al Gore, who lost to George Bush. And the whole crowd, I was in Northern California, it was a Democratic crowd, so they all stood up and cheered like crazy. And when they're done cheering, I just stood there and I said, that's one way to explain why you didn't become President of the United States. You didn't have enough Supreme Court justices. But I might suggest there might be a different reason. Everybody was like, why? Well, what's he going to say? And I said, let's look at everybody else first. Those of you who told me you don't have the money, you don't have the time, you don't have the education, you don't have the right people, didn't have the right skill, didn't have the right technology, didn't have the right Supreme Court justices, or enough of them. I would submit to you, you've all told me the reason you failed is you didn't have the resources. Time is a resource. Money is a resource. Technology is a resource. Knowing the right people is a resource. And I said to the audience, here's my experience working with the most successful people on the face of the planet, athletes, presidents of the United States, multi-billionaires. Here's what I know from them. Resources are never the real problem. A lack of resourcefulness is the real problem. I'll say it again. Lacking the resources is not the problem. Lacking resourcefulness is the real problem. What I mean by that is very simple. The ultimate resource is human emotion. What starts wars? Is it logic? Hell no, it's emotion. What makes you get married or get divorced? It's emotion. What will make you stay up all night working to build your business? Emotion. What will make you give up? Emotion. If you don't master your emotion, if you don't become resourceful, then you're going to think the problem is resources. Because I'm here to tell you, every great person I know didn't have the resources, but
Sorry about that.
Because they're resourceful.
I was just
And what that means,
getting a little bit of see, and obviously I'll spend extra 2 minutes over the time. Anyway, thank you. All right, so we're just gonna delve into charting for all the newbies. Sorry, your session has taken almost an hour, but notwithstanding, we'll continue to help the newbies going forward all the time. So this is what I'm looking at. I'm gonna be looking at the pound dollar first of all right? And when it comes to the pound dollar, there are a couple of factors that's affecting this particular currency, okay? And one of the first thing first, as you know, the first question that I'll ask myself is, what is the major trend, okay? This is glaring. You can see that the major trend is even down, okay? The major trend is down, all right? So once I know that the major trend is down, what I wanted to do is, I want to always try my best to keep myself in the direction of the major trend, okay? Otherwise, if I'm not going to be keeping myself in the direction of the major trend, I would have seen that something is happening on a bigger time frame that is shifting that bias. All right, so these are the variation to the question. What is the major trend? The major trend is down, okay? All right, so if I now look at this chart, if I found something like this, all right, I don't know, it's Eno here. Eno is asking me to look into top-down analysis. I always look into top-down analysis. So if you're in here, Eno, thank you for joining in. And for every other person that's in there, the next thing that I'm going to do after knowing that my major direction is down is if I see any candle on a monthly chart that's showing me otherwise, say for example, all right, because the candlesticks, yeah, is the alphabet, yeah, is the spellings of what this movement is translating, okay? Say for example, if I have a charting package that is not in candlestick, if I have this type of charting package, which is a line chart, okay, all I can see is the move is going down. I wouldn't be able to understand what happened over here or how to translate whatever might have happened over here. All right, so when the Japanese developed the candlesticks, it kind of start looking into 4 different data points. One of them is the high that the price would have made. All right. The second is going to be the low that the price would have made. But before the highs and lows are made, there's one particular thing that's always constant in the market is the opening. All right. There's a particular advanced class on how to understand open, because when you understand open or the way the market open, that can literally save you staying on the chart for 2, 3, 4 hours, all right? Within the first 30 to 1 hour that the market opens, you can literally know whether you want to trade that particular instrument or not based on the open, all right? For the people who are going to be taking the advanced class, people who are going to be taking the mentorship opportunity, we're going to be looking into delving into that and be discussing that deep down. It's not a secret, but yeah, some people who just want a little bit of specialty design into their training, we can look into that. All right, so if I see a doji day or a doji month like that, right, that is literally telling me that, okay, despite the fact that the major trend is down, but the signal that I'm getting on the monthly is telling me of a little bit of a reversal or likelihood of a reversal coming, especially depends on the area where that is occurring. All right, if that is occurring at a major area of support, then obviously I'm going to be paying attention to that. And I'm not just going to be following my downtrend blindly. I'll be looking into possibility of a shift in momentum, either temporarily or for longer term. All right. So that is what this candlestick would have done for me to let me know that let me not just follow the direction of the monthly blindly because something is telling me otherwise. So all those clues are very important for you to know, okay? Because if you say that the major trend is down, all right, you will be following that major trend blindly, even when you see this particular candlestick. And this is why I always tell people when it comes to learning the financial market or learning the Forex market, all right? If you have someone who is a trader, they know what they're doing, they'll be able to open your eyes to it in a much more clear form, all right? And that is what I'm doing over here. So that little bit of a clue can make a lot of difference in understanding that the major trend is down, but you are finding a possibility of any trend change scenario occurring. So the first 5 questions, does anybody knows the 5 questions? Can any of my veteran here repeat the 5 questions, either in the chat room or in a different manner, if you know the first 5 questions? And that will be the guidance for us into understanding how we're going to trade, right? So what is the major trend? All right, so for the people who are just joining us new, number 2, I'm waiting. So the major trend can be up or down, all right? But we can have a different market condition. You can have a consolidated market condition and we can have a trending market condition, okay? Then is the momentum increasing or decreasing, okay? So you can have a major trend that is down, just like I've said over here, all right? And then you can have the momentum in that particular case decreasing. So the momentum of this particular move down is actually decreasing when we have this doji month. So is the momentum increasing or decreasing? So if the momentum is increasing or if the momentum is increasing in the direction of the major trend, then you know that, okay, you can say follow the major trend. But if the momentum is decreasing in the direction of the major trend, then you want to be cautious following the major trend, okay? Is it making any meaningful understanding? So the 4th question, does anybody know the 4th one? And then the 5th one. Right, so those are questions that you can ask yourself, okay? And I'll tell you how to make use of them right now, all right? Question mark, question mark, and then question mark as well. All right, so in this case, if we're gonna answer this question, what is the major trend? The major trend is down, okay? There's no doubt about that. What is the market condition? All right, so the market condition can either tell us whether we are trending or whether we are consolidating, okay? So are we still trending down or are we consolidating? For the people who understand the meaning of consolidation, over here now, are we still trending down or we are consolidating? All right. So is the momentum increasing or decreasing? All right. So consolidation is when you have a situations like this, all the candles together. You can see that over the last couple of 3 months, we are still consolidating. Good answer. All right. So consolidating because we're having 1 or 2, 3 months that is almost in the same region, consolidating. All right. So when we are consolidating, there's a way to trade that. Is the momentum increasing or decreasing? Right. So with this consolidation, the momentum is starting to pick up to the downside. All right. But we are still in consolidation. We haven't seen a major break for however how long. The last break that we saw was a slight break above this side, and then price has come back to trade within the previous month range. Okay, and then this current month now we are still within the previous month's range. All right, so are we near any support and resistance? All right, that's another question that we need to ask ourselves. We have to look at the chart and see whether we are any support and resistance. When you look at here, you can see that there's a support here. That's the reason why when price is getting down to this area, it's pushing back up. All right, and even over here, you can see that there's a little bit of resistance. Price cannot just go through that zone easily like that. All right. So I can see it on a monthly chart. It might be difficult for someone else to be able to see it on a monthly chart. But yeah, the favor that we're going to do ourselves is we can literally take this into a weekly chart. All right. So on this monthly, we can see that we are just near a major or sitting right on this area of support and resistance. That's where we are. You can see that price gets there and then tend to bounce a little bit before we break. Price comes back to it and forms some wick before it starts to go back up. So we are on the support and resistance right there. So the next thing is, do we have any trend changing pattern? All right, so the first trend changing pattern is for you to understand when market is not forming a new low in a downtrending market. So we've come all the way down, we move back up, and then we're forming a failure over here. We still have a little bit of a failure to go down and take out this low. All right, so we have a slight trend changing pattern coming up slightly. Those are the kind of things that we are seeing. So we can see that things can change on this particular, and then obviously we're going to watch that so closely going forward. Please bear with me a second, there's some background noise. So we move quickly down to the weekly chart. Okay, so on the weekly chart, now, what we're going to be looking for on the weekly chart is to see whether we are still following everything that we are seeing over here. All right, so when we ask whether the momentum is increasing or decreasing, and we are near a major support and resistance, obviously we are definitely sitting on support. Okay, so when you are sitting on a support, you know that the next thing that's likely gonna happen at every support is price will bounce back off. Do we have a trend changing pattern? Yes, it's coming up. Okay, all right, so what do we see on weekly? So if I look at weekly, this is the way that we've trended down, and then we form this kind of pullback. Okay, and then now we are finding ourselves in a scenario whereby we are going down again. But one thing that we see is we form this particular low. All right, and after forming this particular low, we can see that we are looking at a trend changing pattern. We are looking at some kind of head and shoulder pattern, which is inverted. All right, on a weekly time frame. Does anybody know or understand the head and shoulder pattern? Does anybody understand the head and shoulder pattern? And the head and shoulder pattern is one of the market maker reversal pattern that cannot be hidden in the market. Okay, it cannot be hidden in the market. So when we are looking at our prices, we have to understand what is called patterns. And when we are looking at patterns, we have to be able to identify if we can see any pattern in price the way that it's developing. So the first thing that I'm looking at is I'm looking at this particular pattern right here. Okay. And I'm looking at this pattern and looking at it as an head and shoulder pattern. All right. So we form a shoulder here. Let me bring it down. But like I said, that is not enough, which is right here. And then we can then go back to this place. Okay. So we form head and shoulder pattern right there. Let me make this clearer a little bit for our head and shoulder pattern. So as you can see, this is the left shoulder, the head, and then the right shoulder. All right. That is the kind of pattern that we are seeing over here. All right. But what we tend to do is this. We tend to go above the neckline to break it, but we failed. All right. So that failure is what is bringing us back inside there. But does it mean that the head and shoulder pattern is now invalidated? No, it's not invalidated. We are still looking at this head and shoulder pattern. We know that we've tried to crack this area of neckline and price is coming all the way down. We are sitting on support. Anything can literally happen in this support. We are on a holiday right about now, and then this support is showing us clearly that it's still holding for now. All right, so there's no need to panic. The way to trade a consolidated market condition, I have literally analyzed it before, and I'm going to show you now how to do it again. Because the price is consolidating, all right, you're going to be approaching this differently to a trending market, okay? So in a consolidated market condition, what you're going to be seeing is a box scenario. You can be seeing an opportunity like this in a box scenario, all right? So you have the top end of the box, okay? And then you have the bottom end of the box. So we are sitting right on the bottom end of the box now. And what you want to be doing at the bottom of each and every box in a consolidated market scenario is to be buying the bottom of the box. All right. So you're going to be buying the lows. All right. And then you want to be selling the highs. Okay. You want to be buying the lows and selling the highs. So in this case, we have a market maker reversal pattern, which is an head and shoulder pattern. All right. It has tried to crack through the neckline, all right, before, but luckily for now, it's still holding. I mean, it breaks through the neckline and then price falls back in as much as we are still above this particular shoulder. All right, we are still looking at possibility of things can go up, especially when we are sitting at a support like this. So what we'll be doing is we want to be buying every single low over here. Say, for example, one of the first low is this. Let me show you. 1, 2, 3, 4. So one of the first low is this particular low here. All right. And that particular low, because it's on a weekly, it's a huge support. Another particular low is right here. All right. Because it's on a weekly, it's a huge support as well. So what we have seen is we've gone down below one of the low and prices coming back up above it. All right. That we like so that we can be a buyer. Okay. If you come through a previous low and then prices now coming back above it, it can give you an opportunity to be a buyer. But that doesn't mean that you should now go ahead and buy straightforward. You're just looking for clues in the market. All right. So the first clue has been seen. All right. And looking at that particular first clue, we can be looking at possibility of looking for buying opportunity, especially when we switch to the daily charts right now. All right. But we haven't seen, if there's one thing that we haven't seen, is we haven't seen a serious rejection of this low. Okay, look at it. When price come down, okay, when price come down, we have a massive doji. When price comes down, we have a bullish engulfing. When price comes down, we have this indecisive doji, and then when price come down, we have the massive rejection. On this particular one, we couldn't see that rejection. So that can be a warning sign that we can start to break down. And then the next thing that I can see clearly on daily is the way that we are making a new high. So after this high, we attempt to make a new high, but we failed. We attempt to go ahead again and make a new high, we failed. We attempt to make a new high, we fail. We attempt to make a new high, we fail. So we're going to be looking at this trending down, okay? We're not going to deviate from what we know, but we're going to be looking at how the pressure is literally mounting going forward. So the pressure is mounting all the way down. We are sitting on a support. The best action at a support is to buy a support. The next time that you really want to sell a support, you want price to go and close below that support. You can see that for a very long time, we haven't actually closed below the support. There's holiday out there. There's not going to be much of a big volume. This support now might not be a key thing that we hold. And when this hold, then we can see opportunity to push this up. So the next thing that I will now do is I want to look into my 4-hour chart. All right. So when I'm looking at my 4-hour chart, I'll be delving down deeply to see what is going on. So on my 4-hour chart, I can decide to squeeze the chart properly, okay? And squeezing the chart, I'll be looking for all sorts of different kind of opportunities that is coming up. So the first thing that I like to employ on my 4-hour chart is what is called trend line, okay? I like to employ trend line to see how the market is behaving according to trend. All right, so my first trend line will be that, okay? And you can see that we have a touch over there, we have a touch over there, and then now we are sitting on another touch. And this particular touch can be the bounce that we are looking for in the market. So now you can see the kind of things that we are combining together. We are at an area of support, both area of a dynamic support and area of a we are at an area of a dynamic support, and the dynamic support is the trend line, okay? And then we are at an area of the static support. The static support is the lows of the weekly that we are seeing right here. All right. So we're going to be looking at things so closely, and those areas can be very key areas in our decision-making process going into this week. All right, so we are at an area of double support. That support is looking like as if it's holding more than anything else. All right, and when a support is holding, you don't want to fight against that. It's a support. It's showing you every single reason to hold. Wait a second. Right, so sorry, I was looking for my mouse. So this support is holding, and that's what we can see going forward. Remember, we have our shoulder, right here, that is holding as well. So we only want to try and trade what we see and not what we think. All we can see is the support is holding in these two regions for now. And for as long as that support is holding, we'll be looking to be a buyer. Straightforward, we know where we're going to be a seller, all right? So we want to be a seller of this particular zone when price breaks this support and come down below it. That's when we want to be a seller. But for now, we are holding, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be employing our trend line in a manner to confirm the hold. All right, so we can have a trend line that goes like this from there to there, which is going to be our major trend line. Okay, we can then see that we are forming more or less like a triangle pattern. We can see that we are forming more or less like a triangle pattern. This is a contraction in the market. When you are seeing contraction, price can either break to the upside or break to the downside. All right, but in this particular scenario, we have to be looking for possibilities. Okay, we have to be looking for possibilities. We can be seeing possibilities that price can now bounce from this support and start to go all the way higher. But there's another inner trend line that I'll be looking at, okay? And that will be my first clue if that can possibly break. So this particular trend line will be key for me on a 4-hour chart, all right? And this can break to the upside anytime from now. this can literally come and break to the upside even tomorrow. But the market is closed. All right. So if the market is closed, there's nothing we can do. We just leave this until Monday to see how it's going to behave. All right. So, but the key thing is probably we're going to get a break. All right. Because we've come to this trend line, we tested it. We come back to it again, we tested it. We've not managed to close below it, and that is key for us going forward. So that is looking like a buy for now until it proves us otherwise, because we are sitting on so many support. So when are we going to actually do the buy? The buying wouldn't come into play until we see the break of this trend line. All right, so we want to see the break of the trend line. If you've been following the wave theory, you know that we are looking for a confirmed break of this trend line, and it's quite important because the trend has been going down before anyway. But now that we are bouncing off support, it's a good sign that we can see the break of this trend line. So our stop will remain underneath there. Okay, our stop will remain underneath here, which is going to be like 21 to about, say, maximum 30 pips stop. All right, let me look for this zone. There's another zone right here. So we want to be looking for possibility of 1 second, please. Stop. We want to be looking for possibility of about 26 to 30 pips stop where we are currently. Okay, and then we don't want to buy this until we break this particular trend. We want to see the break of this trend line and before we buy this. And even buying this after the break of the trend line, we have to understand that we have a major trend line above there as well. All right, we have a major trend line above there as well. So even though if price breaks this trend line, right, what we can see is we can see a move back to this particular trend line, which is going to be hitting the pound in a very tight condition. The pound is actually consolidating. We want to actually see the break. So to actually measure that, we can do a little bit of a geometry in place and look for how this is actually behaving, what kind of wave that we are sitting in. So we're going to be looking for possibility of a 5-wave break. Okay, so this could have been our fourth, and then we expect a break to the downside, well, which we never get. Let me take this out 1 second. Let me take this out 1 second. So we're forming a serious wedge situation right here. But what we want to do is we want to measure our Fibonacci that is occurring in all this particular zone. 1 second. Right. Okay, so in measuring this, the pound has over extend itself, especially in this triangle. What we can see is, give me a second, let me look at it on daily properly. Okay. So we are looking at this on daily. I want to see what kind of wave we are forming. All right, so all these are still sitting in the same area, so I'm considering the whole of this as I'm considering the whole of this as we fall all this base, and then we can possibly see the shooting price, and price will start to go up on this. So for now, we've got a major thing that we are looking at in sterling, which is the break of that particular 4 hour. All right. If I'm looking at another possibility is I want to measure what kind of trend that we are in. Bear me a second. So I want to put my Fibonacci here to here and see the kind of retracement that we are getting, which is 61.8. Sure enough, I'm going to bring that down here as well. We got the sweet spots from there, and then I'm just going to take this out for a second and delete it. Go back to my 4-hour chart quickly and spot if there's any pattern coming up. Okay, so for this scenario, when I look at this, let me delete all this 1 second, or take it out in a way. I can see we have a big possibility from this low, all right, to even this high. This is a massive opportunity that I can see here, and then we can then look into how this is going to be coming down. All right, so this is a Gatly. A Gatly always end at 76 or 78.2. Sorry, this is not a Gatly, sorry. We are slightly above. All right. All right, so we are slightly above over there. I won't count that to as a bad pattern or anything, because we are slightly above. I can look for possibility of another pattern going forward. All right, so I haven't seen anything on the pound USD for now until we see the proper break of this particular trend line, and then we can start to look for possibilities. All right, so that is that for me on the pound USD. The next thing that I want to look at is one of the charts that was contributed into the group, which is going to be the dollar card. All right, so the dollar card is another chart that we can look at and see what it's saying. So this is my dollar card chart. Okay, so based on this dollar card chart, the same thing, I want to go into monthly. So when I get into the monthly, I want to see where we are on the monthly, what kind of trend we are in. Okay, and if you are having any trend changing pattern, okay, and then possibility of not just a trend changing pattern, possibility of seeing whether we are sitting at any support and resistance, which as you can see, we have a resistance up high there. All right, and then all we are trying to do is we are trying to push back again. So on this monthly chart, bear me a second. On this monthly chart, we are seeing that we've got a very massive resistance around there. All right, and this was a strategy that I was teaching last week as well. Sorry, was it last week or during the week? That once you see a major fall like that, okay, the next time that you are responding, or the next time that you are returning back to that zone, you have to understand that you can see the same reaction again. All right. So we have a resistance here, we have another resistance here on the same area in the same location. So that resistance is picking key volume, all right, on this monthly chart. And if we put an horizontal line there, just to remember, measure it, then it will be good. Okay, so going forward, if I look at my weekly charts based on this, so this is my weekly chart. We have our resistance zone there. We have a big one right over there, another one right here, and then we are approaching it back. This time around, we've got in there, as you can see. Okay, so we are back at a very key zone. The dollar yen has rejected that zone all the way down. We are trying to push higher again. Against this zone here, and that's an area of supply, massive supply. Going back there is going to be rejected again before we can literally make the right decision. So as we can see over here, what is the major condition as well? You can see that the market condition too in this case is the same. All right, so we are in a consolidation again, irrespective of wherever the situation is. It's quite important that we understand how to trade this. Okay, until we see the break of the box, we want to be selling every resistance. All right, until we see the break above, we want to be selling everywhere that is a resistance. So on a weekly, we are just forming that candlestick that is giving us consolidation pattern, and we would not hesitate in understanding that and following through with it. Even the same thing occur on daily. All right, so these are the daily charts. These are how price is reacting inside this box, and you can see box inside box as well, which means the consolidation inside there is brutal. All right, so we are back inside another box of box on the daily as well. We are here, so price is although pushing up, but it's pushing up into that minor resistance. Doesn't mean it can break. Of course it can break, there's no doubt about that. We can break this, we can break that, and then obviously look for a way to just be selling this. All right, so we want to be selling at the highs. Any slightest failure, we want to sell at the highs and then buy at the low in this case. Okay, so going forward, right, so looking at this dollar card, what we're going to be employing is simple. The best area to sell is at this top. Okay, but because we have this amount of pips playing around inside there, that's about 137 pips worth of a move. So we can find ourselves in right here that price a gap, come down, price attempt to hit, come down, price hits the brick wall again, and then we are coming up. So this is our zone right here, right? So price is going back there, and then you won't literally want to trade anything from here to there. You want to see price going there, all right? We've got about 11 or 12 pips for price to get there. So we can have that patient or even set an alarm, all right? Have that patient or set an alarm, and that's going to make a lot of difference in how we're going to take this opportunity. Because if there's one thing that I don't like is when the back drop down like this, and then we have that correction all the way up, and now that price is getting there again, you are looking for opportunity to sell this. But I will be wary selling it just because of this little side I can see, all right, which is pushing higher against every other move. So this can be the next, see the cup and undo, right? So our selling opportunity, main selling opportunity will be over here, okay, on 34.53. If the price decide to hold this area, then we are looking to sell for now. Okay, we are looking to sell. So we just wait and set an alarm on this particular scenario. All right. So going forward, let's see what we have on 4 hour. There's no any trend line more than that. So we actually need to see the break of this zone for us to have a little bit of strength to say that we want to push. Right. So on my 4 hour chart, we have a major area of resistance that can push price down. But that's an area that needs to be watched closely, because I'm anticipating that the dollar card will break this area and carry on moving forward. All right, 63 pips. It's great. That's attainable. All right, that's definitely attainable. You can push above, and then that is about 64 pips is available when we actually break, but we have to see the break first of all right? So that is loaning for you. We are looking for the break around there. Do I have any possibility of any thing going on? No. No. So we have a reversal, but price break off. Right. So let's look at any of our other pair again. What do I have? Can somebody remind me what I have?
USD CHF.
Sorry?
USD CHF.
USD CHF.
Yes.
Is that part of the list as well? Sorry.
Yes. Yes.
Right. So thank you. I just joined, but I'm enjoying the session already. Please, can you look at dollar yen? So the dollar JPY. So me looking at the dollar yen, we can see we are at an area of resistance over here, previous resistance. It's even looking like support here. So this is what is holding this price together. Okay. Okay. So this is an area of 4-hour resistance. But let's quickly look at monthly quickly. Okay. So after this massive rejection, we have a bullish month coming into play. Wow. Okay. So this is a monthly chart for the USD yen. So I can see rejection. I can see that price is trying to break through a particular zone right now. So where we are is the two key areas. We are approaching that. We are approaching resistance over here. We are approaching a longer term trend line over there. So these are areas where we can be looking for possibility of shorts going forward. Okay, so for the dollar yen, if there's something that I'm saying more than anything else, is I see that we are at an area of resistance that is affecting the price drastically. The price is now coming off that area. Yeah, and the dollar yen is looking to me like a very good sell opportunity developing here. Okay, price is turning down. And if I go back to 4-hour chart, so this is my 4-hour chart. One moment, please. Hmm. So with my dollar yen, an attempt fail, a massive push failure. So what you can then do for this particular chart is you don't want to see any surprise. Yeah. Right. I'm looking at this and I'm looking at it critically. I'm trying to study the candles that I've got. Okay. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the breakdown. I'm looking at the reverse. I'm looking at this little area here that needs breaking. All right. Until this little area here breaks, then that's when we become an ultimate seller in the price of the dollar yen. Right. Okay. So accordingly, we have right. So in this particular scenario, we are looking to sell. Yeah, we're better off selling. We want to keep our stop tight, really. Okay, so I've
So it's like I'm saying
favored the
before.
dollar yen as a sell. I'll be putting my trend line here. Okay, I'll be looking at this trend line as a first area of targets going forward. I will be careful around there because I've got massive support for price here as well. All right, so there are a couple of areas that this needs to break for me to have a sensible confirmation that we are going down. All right, so this little area here. Okay, so literally, so even now coming down, this is exactly what I'm looking at. Even now coming down can literally means we are coming back down into a support. I think we are better off to see a genuine break of this area. All right. So we have multi-conversion. We need to break all this down. And when we try to break this even, we can see also different kind of bounce situation happening. So dollar yen is a pair where you want to be careful. There's so many support coming up. You want to be careful. You just don't want to rush and selling it. Okay. So that's for dollar yen. It's a pair just to be careful of. The ultimate one now is the gold. So we've had this particular analysis going forward. We are sitting in that particular support zone. And then gold is still trying to maintain. Gold is sitting down here and we are looking for break currently, all right? Although gold looks so negative, the break of this trend line will give us a beginning of a new sensible direction that we might be looking for. So we came down, we looked beyond all the previous day's low, and then we snap back above it, and literally we are sitting on it as a what? So gold, we want to see a break. We just want to see the break of this. And that's where we are. So for gold, I like when I can see possibility of a rounded bottom coming in. Or we want to see right here is continuous break of this zone. All right, so the 1277 that my friend Michael was mentioning, yeah, this was the chart that I was looking for. It's actually the 1276.96, which is almost 1277. So when we break that to the upside, and I can see every single reason for us to break that right about now, okay? When we break down that down to the upside, then we can see gold continue to move higher. All right, so we are 18 minutes past the hour now. We will take a little bit of a break and then come back to come and look at the Aussie dollar and the dollar Swiss. Okay. Yeah, we're just doing a simple analysis technique over here. I will try my best to go in depth and make some video on any pattern that I see coming up. Okay, so let's take a little bit of a break, about 10 minutes break, and then obviously we can come back and look at the other charts, and we can go and get some things to relax.
It's actually pretty easy to make money if you copy the kind of evil way that Instagram influencers are making money. And if you don't believe me, you're skeptical, good. You cannot win the war against the world if you can't win the war against your own mind. Self-discipline is the center of all material success. 99% of people are not willing to do what it takes to make their dreams come true. The Marines have a saying, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. And that's just real. At the center of bringing any dream into fruition is self-discipline. Something as simple as food and eating. It's not about your body as much as it is about your mind. It's getting command of your mind to be able to choose actions that are in your own best interest. A lot of people are just trying to change. A lot of times, like I just did a podcast on habits, right? How to be able to adopt new habits and also delete and get rid of, break bad habits, right? And so a lot of people always want to usually make a change on behavior.
they want to get themselves to work out. They want to get themselves to meditate. They want to get themselves to read more each day. They want to get themselves to X, right? Or they want to stop some behavior. They want to stop smoking. They want to stop eating this food. They want to stop. I always tell people, stop checking your phone the first hour of the day. You know, you've heard this many times, right? You win the first hour of the day, you win the day.
Every day, we are choosing shit that's not in our own best interest. Right? So if the world is attacking you and the world wants to fight you and the world's trying to hold you down, so you gonna kick yourself in the balls, and you gonna stop yourself from getting what you dream.
When I want to transform or transcend or make a real positive change, I'm looking at all the other areas of myself. So I'm looking at, for example, our environment. Are people setting up their environment to win? So change doesn't just happen at this level of behavior, but what you have to change the environment. So, for example, if you want to stop eating a certain food, it helps to be able to not have that food in your home, right? So you change the environment.
In life, we must all suffer one of two pains: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. I'm asking you to choose wisely.
So whatever it is that you're trying to achieve in life, the critical component is getting things done and getting things done in a systematic way. Building a character that's associated with getting things done in a systematic way requires that you become disciplined.
If we live a lazy, undisciplined life, and we just give into our feelings, and we act on these emotional impulses, we're going to make very poor choices that we regret later on. We would be much better off to just discipline ourselves right now, so that later on we don't have to carry that heavy load of regret.
I think a lot of people suffer from decision-making fatigue, right? And this is very strong research saying that you can only make a certain amount of good decisions a day. And after that is spent, you can't anymore. And that's really been fine-tuned in the medical field with surgeons and such in terms of seeing where they're making their errors and stuff early on in the day or later in their days and stuff like that. We all, entrepreneurs or as employees and executives or as parents, we all can make a certain amount of decisions. And that's why, people like Zuckerberg or Tom Shea, who was a teacher, spend one of their decisions. Oh, what am I going to wear today? Right? So my goal is to streamline my life, put the routines the first hour of the day and the last hour of the day. I really micromanage to the point where it's habitual. I don't even have to think about it. And then those are the times of the day where later on, in the middle of the day, team members need this, there's firefighting this, client needs that. But the first hour and the last hour, I really want to control. So all this really helped me develop grit and resilience, in my body, so I can have the ability to persevere. And also, I stand guard to my brain all the time. What goes in? I don't watch a lot of the negative news and all the market. I really focus. I watch and I listen to your show and a handful of little things I read each day because I need to keep it positive. I want hope and I'm looking for help. I'm looking for inspiration and also some instruction.
Self-discipline is the definition of self-love. When you say that you love yourself, that means that you have behavior towards yourself that is love. Like you say to yourself, hey man, look, I know you want to eat that pizza and it'll be really good, but I can't let you eat that, man, because if you eat that pizza, you're going to feel like shit. And I love you too much to let you eat that. And I think the word discipline has kind of gotten a bad name. We think about it in terms of punishment. I'm not talking about it in that way. I'm talking about discipline in the sense that you forego immediate pleasure for the exchange of long-term self-respect. Self-love is when you say to yourself, man, look, I know you and that girl got a real connection. I know y'all vibe, but that's your girl's cousin. So I love you too much to let you do that. Self-love is, hey, look, I know you got a test on Monday. You really want to go out with your friends. Saturday night you want to go out, but if you fail that test, you're not going to feel good about yourself. I love you too much to let you go out. Self-discipline is self-love. If you want to be happy,
love yourself, which means you have to discipline your behavior. To sustained happiness is through disciplining your behavior.
If you understand.
All right. So, starting back, let me have a look at what we got here. Sorry. So, that is gold. The one thing that, let me see. So I'm just looking at all this in a simple manner. Let me look at dollar Swiss. And the dollar Swiss, I want to look at it, well, so the dollar Swiss is just blowing, continues to do its own up movement. I think what I'm going to do is I want to look at this from another broker perspective. Okay. All right. So if there's one thing that I learned during my early times is a trend. It's a trend. All right. Until it bends. Okay. A lot of people will be looking at, and one of my great mentor that teaches that, he made us to understand that just because this is a all-time high or whatever high that people call it, that doesn't mean that it cannot be broken. And that is what the dollar Swiss has come to prove over here, right? Probably a lot of people are queuing over here to wait for possibility to sell. Well, that would have proved so very expensive for them. But let's look at this from a monthly point of view to save the scenario right here. Okay, so the dollar Swiss was coming all the way down before, and now, and this is the reason why I like the monthly chart. Everything that looks like as if it's so great and it's looking so up a while ago, it's now in a position whereby we can see it clearly. And I think, yeah, I remember quite vividly that I even gave my analysis on this, and I said to you last week, or when was that, that I can only see this continue to break. And let me go back to it and see if I can show you what I saw and why I say that and why I continue to maintain. Okay. Yeah, then we saw one particular funny 4-hour chart that gives us a doji. I remember quite vividly. Okay. So before that training on that day, we were here. We were pushing strongly higher towards this particular zone. And I was seeing this, I'm saying that there's possibility that this is going to break higher. But on the same day, we have a little doji that comes up. All right, and that little doji comes up at that area of resistance. And these are seriously the issue that we have. One thing is this: once you see a doji, that doesn't mean that is the confirmation that a trade is going to now fall through. The market is taking a breather. It's taking a breather at a very decent area, which means the market is taking a breather, and it's taking a breather at an area of resistance due to this huge significant move. So normally the people who trade candlestick will say that, yeah, you have a doji, then you have to wait for the confirmation. The confirmation will now be a possibility of a bearish candle. A bearish candle. Is this a bearish candle? No, that's not bearish enough. And this could have been a bearish candle, but they want to see a real bearish engulfing candle in this case. Okay, so we didn't get that. We later got this, and price literally do its own thing and go all the way up. All right, so a lot of people would have been sucked in on that one. But let's look at it from a monthly point of view. Right here. Okay, so looking at this from a monthly point of view, I might decide to do a much more deeper analysis on this. All I can say is, where are we sitting? Okay, and where we are going. We are literally approaching further areas of resistance. Oh yeah, I think I started with this monthly chart. I remember quite vividly, and I said, look at this. This is a low, this is a higher low. We are challenging the top side with a serious loss of sell orders, and that is what we've been doing. The funniest part of everything is we've got a doji 2 doji month, right? And then this particular 2 doji month, instead of them to give us a sell, the reverse is the case, and there's no need to look at this and not be thinking of possibility of continuing to buy, which is great. But one thing I need to sound as a warning quickly from here now is, despite the fact that we are shooting up, it still does not mean that things cannot turn down, because all at this area here, in all this area, we are moving seriously towards the real sellers who want to come into the market and take price down. So all the buyers are looking for going all the way up are the sellers. It's just that they haven't found them. It's because the sellers know that they can be here, they know that they can hide left, right, and center. And while we are having our own fun filled moment to keep pushing up, we may find ourselves in a very, very sticky condition. One of the areas that's so key for us to look at is this. There's an area that's called disturbance candle. Let me bring it up. So on this monthly chart, I'll be looking at this. That eye right there, okay? And the first eye that will get me to think twice seriously is this. Let me delete that. This particular eye. Okay. So at 100, at 1.01279, I don't want to see the price coming down below it forcefully at all. I don't want to see that. The moment I see the price coming down below 1.0127 forcefully, I will want to turn straight forward my bias into a seller, and then I will carry on being a seller if price continue to trade below it, and all these 2 dojis will now be working in my favor. So you have to have a dynamic mind when you're looking at the market. Although it's pushing higher right now, it's pushing towards the area of some massive sellers, and that's what it's doing. Let's see whether we can have a funny thing. Let me see what we are dealing with around there, Fibonacci wise. Whether we are approaching anywhere, that is key as well. Okay, so Fibonacci, that's why I love it more than anything else. Is we have this 61.8. This is on monthly as well, so I need you to be careful. Let's go to carry on buying and then carry on buying towards the 61.8 zone. All right, so that's, oh wait, please wait. That Fibonacci that I drew was the wrong one. All right, so this is the right one right now. Right, so this is the right one right now. Okay, what I want to see again is I want to look at the last close that I got. So this area right here is an area of a close. The ultimate high are very important. It's good to continue to be a buyer, but we'll be looking for every opportunity to sell this as we progress. So there's nothing that can stop this more than an area of support and resistance that we've got here. All right, and then let me see what else that I've got that can be key. So if we manage to trade above all these zones, that means we carry on going and pushing higher, which is possible because we've got a low here, we've got higher low, we've got further higher low. All we need to do is push above this zone. Okay, so that's on the monthly. On my weekly chart now, the weekly is bullish. We have closed well above certain important areas, well above all these places bullishly. Okay, so going into the next week, we can see serious push higher continuation to the upside just because we close seriously well above this area of resistance as well. So this continues to be positive, and the positivity of this is definitely extending all the way up into some areas like this, some key zones. All right, so the last point that we have that price closes out is this. So even if we blow across this and price starts to come down, that will be one key area we will be looking to be a seller. All right, and this area too. 1 second. Okay, so that's on the weekly. On my daily now, so in this particular case, you can see that the monthly is positive, the weekly is positive. We should be looking for continued positivity in all our charts. If the daily is now telling us otherwise, our price will do otherwise, we will listen to the daily, but we will be careful. Each and every red candle that is giving us is an opportunity for us to look for an area to buy it back. This chart is not going to turn just straightforward down like that, but yeah, we can retrace so that when we see the red days, we know that that's an opportunity for us to buy back into direction of the trend. But what I want to show you again is this. Let's see what kind of a trend that we are seeing right now. Okay, probably we can employ some possible maybe structure into it. So I can see some trend line breaks. All right, so that trend line breaks, positive, negative break, or price break back in between them. Okay, and then so this 4-hour trend line break is constituting a push higher for this. The next is let's look at this. So we are looking at our 4-hour trend line. It's very important. That will keep us keep our trend in perspective, and then we'll be looking for possibility of also different kind of patterns available. I can see the possibility of this going on. Might be a positive thing for me. All right, so this could have been a sharp pattern or a cipher pattern, and that cipher pattern would have ended at 78.6. All right, oh sorry, yeah, it could have been a cipher pattern, but it's not. So another pattern is trying to form. All right, so I can't see anything substantial in terms of sensible harmonic on this one. Let's look at it from the upside point of view. One moment. $75. This is not joke. So something is definitely coming up here. With this, it's 8.6. Right. So we can have a possibility of a we can be looking at a possibility of a Gatly, which is going to be ending at 78.6. Okay, but looking at this, I don't even really like it because of the way this one is. Let me see this 1 second. It's too. So when you have that now, you are looking at possibility of a deep grab. All right, let's get the cheat sheet out. So the crop pattern. One 1.618. Right. So in the nearest scenario, right. Well, yeah, that wouldn't happen until a very long time, so there's no point. That's the daily chart. And now moving back to our 4-hour chart. So this is where we're gonna be looking for the opportunities now. Okay, we're gonna be tracking. Okay, so I'm seeing a 4-hour trend line in that particular perspective. And I have more 4-hour trend line to see as well. All right, so I'm looking at this. Okay, am I gonna choke myself? Not really. So let's check something out quickly, whether we can make a meaningful set behind the wave theory around this. 0 to 1, 1 to 2. Okay, so what we can see is got this move all the way up. Okay, so I want to employ my fib 2 on top of this one. So I can see that we have our golden mean retracement, which will then take us to 1.618. You can see right here, this is where we are bouncing. 1.618 is that 2 to 3. And then that's when we have that particular sell-off that's now giving us 5. And 5 looks like as if it does not even know when to turn the 5th motive wave All right, and this can continue to anywhere, but yeah, we'll be more than happy to see a retest right now. And if we don't, we are more than happy to carry on buying Swiss. I mean, sorry, dollar Swiss, especially if price comes back to this area of trend. Okay, so that is that's on dollar Swiss. Somebody want me to look at the Aussie dollar and then the Euro USD, Aussie dollar and Euro USD. Wow. Saying about Aussie dollar is what do you do with this? Okay. So we're seeing a lot of funny tricks going on in the Aussie. So at 70, what kind of pattern are we looking for at 70? At that one, 78.6. Right. So this is not telling me much than exactly for now. No, and it can be exactly. It's telling me that it is even um, all right. Well, that's one case scenario. The Aussie is currently suffering. We've broken that, and we've gone back to even retest it. Break, retest, and then we are looking for possibility of continuation. Okay, so we can't see anything that's useful more than the one thing in trading is this: you don't think, you see the trend, you get behind the trend, and you get ahead of the trend. That's the way to make money in this business. You have to be thinking that your broker, each and every time that you blow your account, your broker is just getting rich off all your own hard efforts and stuff. So you have to have a different kind of a mentality to go into the market and go ahead and and win. You cannot afford to be weak when it comes to this opportunity. You have to go there. You have to go there strong. You have to be able to capitalize on your knowledge and then take advantage of this opportunity that we've got in trading and radiate it all around the world. So it's important. Right, so what we can see, that particular break retests in this particular scenario, and then we are looking for continuation. If we don't get that continuation, as you can rightly see, look at this break retest. This area here is so key. That area is so key. If we keep bouncing off this area, price can move a little bit so this area is a support zone. We want price to be able to break it down if possible, but yeah, at the support zone, if there's anything more than anything else, is to be looking for buying opportunity. Okay, looking for buying opportunity. But the moment we close below this zone, then we're looking we need to see that close before we can go into the market and be a serious seller. But now, in fact, a close below here will be very good for me going forward. All right, so on Aussie dollar, give me a second. We're sitting on a pretty spot. Okay, so that is the Aussie dollar. We breaking down. It doesn't look like as if it's gonna go severely to the downside. On daily basis, you can see the engulfing to the weak side. Like when I see the bearishness flowing in from this particular week is a sign for continuation. Anyway, the monthly, wow, doji, this particular week month, is trying but still negative. It's a dollar on daily. Yeah, anticipating continuous break to the downside after we break the particular key zones that the market is providing us with. So we want to break this. We want to see us coming down properly. We need to test if possible, and then Aussie dollar can be going up. I mean, sorry, can be going down, and then we can shoot up from here. Okay, so we are a little bit trapped right now. When you see the reaction for us to know what to do in Aussie dollar, all right? The reaction is negative, but wow, I love this because I caught this one from this side. Right, another consolidation. We want to be selling the top. We want to be buying the so for Swizzy, we approach this particular resistance area, and price cannot hold as the yen is becoming more stronger and stronger. So the Swizzy is following suit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's 2 minutes past the hours of 1. I'm gonna call it a session here. I will try my best to continue again tomorrow. I want people to be able to get some rest, and so that they don't feel too tired. So let's call it a day for now. I want you to post all your charts that you've marked up in the room. If you are here and you want to understand more about the funding opportunity, do not hesitate to get in touch with me in the room. I'm gonna be calling it a night here because I realize that tomorrow too people have got continuation of the festive season. All right, so I'll say thank you so much for joining. I will definitely see you again tomorrow. If you have any question, please take your time to post it. Yeah, it's already 1 o'clock right about now. I want you to be able to sleep and get some good night's sleep. All right, so I'll be waiting for question. In the meantime, if you have any question, don't hesitate to post it. I will try my best to take as much as possible question. If you want me to respond to it in a different manner, it's cool. But for now, yeah, when you analyze a chart from daily, how do you use the 1 hour to get into the trade? Okay, so 46. So if you analyze your chart, are you okay for Mary? All right. So this is what I'm looking at. When I'm looking at a weekly chart like this, in fact, I will start from a monthly chart and I want to see the direction of the monthly. So I can see that the direction of the monthly is going all the way down. Okay. What I want to do with my monthly charts is I want to have some possible horizontal support and resistance zone. Okay, going forward so that I can know the area of support and resistance going forward. All right, so this look like an area of support and resistance to me. Okay, so all this area of support and resistance at the top or at the bottom, as you will call it, support and resistance are key zone for me. All right, so now I have 3. Let me just find them one more. Okay, so I've seen that the monthly is down, the weekly it's down as well, which is positive. The one thing that I want to do is I want to quickly look at the daily, because change can start from the daily. All right, so the daily is giving me a small doji inset right there. I will be careful. All right, so these are the times whereby I will now start to be thinking of, am I going to be careful rather than me to sell when the market's open. All right, so I'll look at my 4-hour. There's a little bit of retracement, okay, and then that retracement did not just occur, it occurs after 3-4 hours of doji, okay. So we have that. The first thing that you can employ, and you shouldn't hesitate to employ, is your trend line. I'm not looking for so trend lines, they are key. If I got a break, then obviously I'm changing my direction. But what I'm looking for on the 1-hour chart is this, just as you've asked, is I want to see, I'll go to my 1-hour now. I want to see how this monthly line that I've picked correspond to the 1-hour time frame. So I'm more than happy to adjust it a little bit to see them corresponding to that. All right, so what I'm looking for on the 1-hour will be my candlesticks now. All right, I'll be looking for candlesticks. I'll be looking for my rejections. I'll be looking for candlesticks. I'll be looking for things like this. Can you see this? This particular type of a candlestick is showing me that this is rejection. All right, this particular rejection, I want to see it on the 1-hour chart. Okay, so I want to see my next 1-hour chart breaking down below here after this kind of a move. If I missed it, then the next candle, I want to definitely see them breaking down and coming all the way down like this. So once I've seen that rejection on my chart, I'm more than happy to know that things are going in line. Okay, things are going in line. It's not only going in line, it starts going in line from area of so the monthly support and resistance that I have over here with my hourly candlestick, and the next thing that I'm anticipating now is a break of this little trend line. The candlestick has given me the signal that we are coming down, and I'm just waiting for the market to open and break this small trend line, black trend line down. All right, so candlesticks will be the key thing that you're going to be looking for, and that area of support and resistance that you've already well defined on monthly. You want to see the candlestick reaction in that zone. All right, and then your hourly charts can be the right candlestick for you to see its reaction in that zone. All right, I hope that answers your question. Yeah, tomorrow we'll continue. I bid you a very good night. Thank you so much, everybody. Let's go and get some rest. So I'll see you tomorrow. All right, don't hesitate to send in your chats into the group. You're welcome. Tomorrow we do more in-depth analysis. Today for the newbies, I don't want to put so much indicators for them to get lost. I just or to delve dig deeper. You know, there's always a way to get things done. You don't want to get people scary. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I will check with my program, and I'll try and do it as early as possible. I will try and put it out early as well, so that if you have so that you can prepare. All right. I'm thinking the evening is the best time for us, for majority of the people, right? Because I've tried to do the poll 1 or 2 times, and I see that the late evening time, it's good for most people. They would have finished work, they would have time to sit down and just take in a little bit of knowledge. Okay, so we do it again tomorrow, and we look at more charts and more charts tomorrow. I'll try and find a time for the newbies so that they don't take most of our time when we are actually doing the chat works, because I want to look into some harmonics for the new week and then take it from there. Anyway, thank you so much for your time. I want to say that I appreciate your time. Have a lovely evening. If you have any question, don't hesitate to get in touch with me. And if you are just joining us for the first time, there's still a lot to learn. Thank you. And I love you all. Have a lovely evening. Good night. Thank you.